Now, of course, a YouTube sensation. So, is this going to make the channel?
Hampton in the lead. Oh, but he takes a lot of curb there, and he spins, takes out Daniel Sylvester. He's going to rejoin the circuit, but it causes.
Do you need me to hold you back and stop you going and calling anyone a knobhead, or? How are you feeling?
The pitch come down to Vesta and then the tyre on the glass in front of us. So whether those two facts are related, I'm unsure.
Is this going to make the channel?
It's good for content, this, isn't it? Hi chaps, welcome to what is sure to be an epic video, right? We're getting started 2023 in the fast stuff, in the Club Enduros, in the TT. This is that championship, if you remember from last year, where all the posh cars enter, all the M3s, all the TCRs, all the best of the best, all battle it out, all the production cars, all the saloon cars, whatever you want to call them. The cars that you could once buy at a shop almost, but tuned up to the max and racing against each other. This is it. Josh is here as well, racing. It's going to be an epic weekend. I'm here Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Croft racing. Right, it's going to be good. Right, I don't want to do too much about today because today's just a test day really. We've got Dylan who's just getting in the car now. I'm sharing with him on Sunday in the Club Enduro. I'm doing Roadsports tomorrow, the 45-minute race on my own in this car. That'll be epic. So before we get started, let me just say this video was brought to you by the Patreons. Yes, it was. It really, really was. So thanks to everyone supporting me on there. I couldn't be bringing you these videos without the support from people on there. So yeah, really appreciate it. So yeah, like I say, today's testing. I'm racing tomorrow and I'm racing Sunday as well. So epic weekend. I was gonna chop the video up and have, you know, multiple videos, but I think we'll just have one big one. I've opted for the Dark Side hospitality package this weekend. You can see it's starting to oh, it's there. Have you just arrived? Josh has arrived. Better late than never, eh? So it's looking like nice weather for the morning, but it looks like it might be horrible this afternoon. But this weekend's looking fairly present. The Type R trophies have just been out now. Right, and the TT is going out for its first test session. I'll put chapters on the video if you just want to skip to the race or the endurance race or whatever, you can do that. If you're along for the ride, just let it play, eh? Just let it play. We've got a recovery on track, so we've got an opportunity to look at some of the enduro cars. There's a new Mark 7 Golf there, looking very wide. Is that a TCR one maybe? Mark 7, I think that was here last year. A couple of FN2s. I think there's some Teguier thing going on with the FN2s. This MX-5, I've not seen that before. Ooh, what is that? E4? Is that a green E46 M3? Who's that lad there? That is very nice. All the usual Golfs and look, all the Golfs and all that. And I've seen something bad back there, but let's not worry about it too much. Another FN2, so 3 FN2. I can see an M4 at the back as well, another Leon. All sorts of stuff. Yeah, good times. This M3 looks very nice. Who is that there? Who is that there? Green E46 M3, very nice. It's just a new car, look. Well, same car, but. Alright.
These fucking brake sticks I'm getting used to.
What are they? ABS?
No booster. The booster.
No booster?
More than the ABS.
Oh wow.
It's like it's not even stopping, you gotta press it.
Yeah, you gotta press it like fuck.
28. Mate, the car, like chassis wise, feels stupid.
Good.
Yeah, it's so pointy, like ridiculous.
Is that the proper device?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite intimidating driving it for the very, very first time.
Yeah,
the brakes feeling like it's not slowing down.
And that's what I found when I drove Darkside's cars for the first time.
Yeah.
You've got a proper stand on the brakes. Loud as fuck, your car.
Is it?
Yeah. It's proper loud, louder than anything else.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car, hello? The tyres and that feels fucking mad. Nothing's
So
catching.
loud now, out the car.
Yeah, Dan said it's not any louder.
So I didn't end up testing the car until quite late on in the day. I let Dylan have most of the morning to himself just to try and get familiar with Croft. Remember, he's never been here before. He's quite a competent driver, so I'm told, but I wasn't sure myself. You know, I had to see it with my own eyes, so I let him have all the time in the world to try and get up to speed. The good news is he was sub 30 straight away, so yeah, I was really happy to see that. You really want to be well under 1 minute 30s in the class that we're in. I was aiming for 27s, although my best time from the track day was a 28.8, but 27 was going to be the goal for the weekend, so remember that number. Quite a varied amount of cars out on track. You can't be at Croft, I've noticed, without some Caterfields getting in the way somewhere. That seems to be a Croft thing for sure. I did 6 laps in this session and none of them were particularly fast. There was traffic or whatever other excuse I could think of, but yeah, the car definitely felt good. That was the main thing. I decided to hand it back to Dylan so he could carry on improving. This lap. I can go faster for sure. I just did my first session in the TT. It went pretty well. A lot of traffic out there. I don't know if I've showed much from it, but a hell of a lot of traffic out there. A lot of different paced cars. I mean, we're in the fastest of the fastest, so you know it's going to be us to catch and overtake people. But yeah, I was 8 tenths up at one point until we got some traffic, so I'm confident that I can maybe get into the 28s again. The track does feel a little bit shitter, but you know it's early morning, so maybe late in the afternoon if we don't get the rain. It's scheduled to rain, but maybe later in the afternoon we can maybe try and go a bit faster. But yeah, I was overall pretty happy with that. Apparently Josh just had a big moment with Carl in the Golfram area. He's using one of my GoPros at the minute, so we can inject that in freely, no copyright. Yeah, it rained at lunch. I'm still on a test day. Dylan's just out getting some more experience in the car. I would like to test some things in the car, but it's not stuff I want to do in the wet, so I'm probably just going to hold off for today and then go back in the car tomorrow. I think Josh is thinking the same. Yeah. So I did also decide to go out in the car in the rain just to have a feel for it. It was very unlikely to be raining over the weekend, but never say never, especially not at Croft or anywhere in the north. You know what it's like. One day it can be real sunny, the weatherman says it's going to be a-okay, and then, you know, thunderstorms, right? So I thought I'd go and get some practice in the car, see what it felt like in the wet. It was still quite stiff on the roll bars. We'd not kind of put a wet weather setup on it or anything like that, but I just wanted to go out and see what it felt like. And yeah, it felt pretty shit, as you can imagine. Definitely needed to be softer on the roll bars and stuff like that, but it wasn't raining, it was just wet, so you know, it was always going to be somewhere in between. So this was the second and last session I did in the TT, so I only drove it twice on the Friday. We're doing the 45-minute race on Saturday on our own. Dylan's got to drive all the way back to Kent or Essex or somewhere like that from Croft, work Saturday and then come back on Sunday. So yeah, I wanted him to make sure he was happy in the car before coming back, ready to return with lots of optimism and confidence for the 2-hour race that we're doing together on Sunday.
Alright?
Yeah, just no point pushing it wet, is there? Just wanted to get a feel for it.
Yeah? Feels alright though?
Yeah.
Good?
Right, it's the evening of the test day. So this afternoon was a bit of a wet one. Didn't really learn a lot. Scrubbed in the tyres a little bit. It might be wet in the morning though. So tomorrow's the 45-minute race on my own. Sunday's a 2-hour race with Dylan, right? But tomorrow is all us in this car, right? So we're going to be up against Josh. We're going to be up against these fast cars. We're going to be up against all the fast C46 M3s. It's going to be wild. It's going to be very wild. Hopefully not wet though. I would prefer for it to be in the dry, but we'll see how it goes, eh? Can't really predict the weather here. It was meant to be dry all weekend, but it's looking like it might rain in the morning now as well. It's kind of annoying, but shit happens, isn't it?
Right, it's Saturday. Roadsports Day. Roadsports. What's Roadsports? It's one of those 45-minute races with a pit stop in the middle. Slightly different to the BRSCC stuff we were doing before. It's slightly different pit stops. Whereas before we had a 2-minute minimum pit stop, now we have a 1-minute minimum stationary time. So I have to have someone timing me when I pit to say you've been, you know, stopped a minute or whatever, and then I can go. The command centre's all rigged up, look, they're doing a live stream and everything today as well. From dark side, just squeeze outside. Excuse me, sir. So the Type R Trophy qualifying is just getting going. The track's wet at the minute. It rained quite a lot overnight, but it's not scheduled to rain at all today, so hopefully not. But there's a bit of spray kicking up from the Type R's going around now. But yeah, we're not out until another hour and a bit really. We're one of the last qualifying sessions, and it's a long qualifying session as well. So we've got about 20 minutes or so to do a good time. Hopefully we can get a 27, that's what we're aiming for. If we can get into the 27s, that would be mega. That would be mega good stuff, and Scott needs to try and get into the 30s, which he did yesterday, to be fair. So Brad's going to be here as well in the RS3. This is, we're doing road sports as well. This is obviously the left-hand drive one that you've seen. The super light carbon doors and everything. Oh, we've had a casualty already on the EP3s. One lone wolf there, just chilling on the inside of the track. Ooh. Right, we're not far off qualifying, so I'm going to get my gear on and get in the car. Remember, we're trying to get a 27 if we can. That would be the dream. Although the track is, you know, not perfect, so and maybe everyone will be just a little bit slower today. But yeah, if we can get in there, we'll be happy bunnies. If not, let's just make sure we have fun. Yeah, let's just have a good time. Yeah, yeah, we'll just have a good time, shall we? Right, we're just heading out now for qualifying. Track looks pretty good. We've got full dry setup on. It's looked a bit patchy in some places off the racing line, but we'll find out how it is. We've just got to go for it, and we want to see a 27 on there. That would be magnifique. Qualifying begins. So the road sports qualifying started with quite a lot of promise. Me and Scott were right at the front of the queue. We had a clear track ahead of us. Now it was patchy and a bit damp in some places, but we had the track to ourselves, and it only took one lap to start catching up the back markers. Yeah, we caught them up straight away. So as good as it was to get that out lap nice and clear, it wasn't long before we were in traffic, and that was a bit of a theme for this session. I couldn't get myself in clean air, and when I did, it wasn't long before I caught someone up. made a lot of mistakes in this session, and I've got quite a lot to learn from it as well. This is probably the 5th or 6th time we've qualified in one of these sessions in the TT, but I was asking too much of the car. I was trying to do a quali lap, a full pace lap, and then it was getting messed up by someone, and then instead of kind of backing off and setting myself up for another lap, I was just keeping my foot down. I was trying to drive flat out lap after lap after lap, and yeah, it didn't work. It doesn't work like that. That's not how you should be treating the car, that's not how you should be treating yourself, and yeah, I paid the price for it. Qualifying session wasn't without its drama either. With this lay-on, I thought he was letting me through up here, and perhaps I was a bit frustrated and a bit impatient. So the strange thing here was we actually made contact twice. Obviously we brushed past him into the corner, but then somehow made wheel-to-wheel contact as well. I don't know how that was possible after the first bit of contact. I left quite a lot of room on the inside as well, but yeah, shit happens, and we made contact again. So this qualifying session wasn't the best for a number of reasons, but I just kept getting myself caught up in traffic or being on a flyer and then catching someone, and I was finding it quite frustrating, letting it affect me a little bit too much for sure. So I ended up pitting with the car, trying to get the team to try and find me a gap, because it did really feel like every corner there was just a car there. So I was hoping the team could perhaps find me a gap to go out in where I'd have a bit of clean air and be able to do a fast lap time.
You alright?
Someone's hit me at back left.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah. Just got a scuff on door.
Just check pressures, Paul.
What?
Just check pressures.
Yeah.
Matisse, get me out in a...
That's Super Copa.
Get me out in a gap.
Huh?
Yeah, Super Copa.
What, a gap on the track?
Try and find a gap on the track for me to go out in.
Yeah, I saw it with that Super Copa. Your wheel is a bit bent.
Fucking hell. He hit me twice. Can you see a gap?
I think it's coming up soon.
Now.
Are you ready?
Now, credit to the team, they did actually find me a nice big gap, loads of fresh air for us to blast through to try and do our quick lap, and this almost was the lap. It almost was, but as you can probably tell, there was a little hold up. never mind, we'll just go again on the lap after, right? Guess what happened on the lap after as well. And I've kept my foot down now for, you know, consecutive laps, pushing the car hard, and this is where I'm making mistakes, because when we do eventually get some clean air the lap after, the car's hot, I'm hot, stressed, you know, just not good. So this ends up being my last chance to try and do a fast lap. There's just this one car, and it's Brad in the RS3. He's actually punching a hole in the air for me there, and then gets out of the way before the S's. So we did end up with a clear run. It wasn't the best lap I've done. I only got myself to blame though. There was no traffic got in the way or anything like that. Perhaps leaning on the car for so many laps consecutively as well was not the wisest. But the session ended early anyway because there was a problem on track. There was a car which had blown up, or looked like it had blown up.
A car blown up in the S's, they'll probably safety car it. I'm going to bolt. Yeah, I'm going to call it. I could have maybe gone a little bit faster, but not by much. What position are we?
Huh?
What position?
P3.
Alright. Yeah, I could have got 4 tenths.
M3 is fast.
Orange.
I don't know which one.
I think that second one was way worse, wasn't it?
The first one was just that little graze down the side.
The second one was a proper like.
They've already polished it out, but you can still kind of see it. Race car. So qualifying, we actually did alright. Qualified third. Probably could have had a bit more pace, I reckon, if the stars aligned, but I'm happy with third. I'm happy on third. We were on pole for quite a while, and then we got chopped by the E46. That's the orange E46, the fast one. And then you can see there's a few other fast cars. Josh got in the top 10 as well, 7th. So yeah, having a good time really. It's qualified good. But as you can see, the lads are just on with the alignment because, I mean, we know a thing about toe now, don't we? Look at that. I think something's bent. I think the wheel doesn't look great, but I think something's bent at the same time. That's quite an impact, that. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But we're racing not until 3 hours, so plenty of time. Golf's had a worse time though. Scott's managed to snap the subframe on the Golf. Just posh unit, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit of work to do for the lads between qualifying and the race now. So the rear left's definitely not been healthy from that knock. I had to go to the Clark as well and speak about it with the other driver. They just didn't see me. Left-hand drive, Super Coper. I thought they were letting me through, but obviously, you know, I was pushing maybe a little bit too hard and perhaps could have been a little bit more patient, I reckon. I'm obviously a little bit upset about the damage, but I'm more happy that I got P3. Yeah. All the Type R's, look. Hey! Right?
I can't believe you're putting that in.
That was some exhilarating content, what do you mean? It's right cheater car, isn't it? Bent as fuck.
Imagine if I was in front of you.
Right, we've just had a driver's briefing. We're all briefinged up. So we're starting P3, that's the highest the TT's ever started, so feeling pretty good.
Attention paddock, attention paddock.
By the looks of it, they're feeling pretty good about the car. Sorted it?
All the tracking's alright now, yeah. It was 5 mil out.
Yeah?
5 mil towing in.
Yeah.
Supposed to be 2 mil out.
Yeah?
So I took the rose joint off. Couldn't see any anything bent or anything like that.
Right.
So I've had a good look over everything on subframe and everything.
So how confident are you it's going to end at race?
It's going to make end at race.
Yeah? 100%?
So crash it again.
I won't crash it again, no.
Crash it again. Crash it again.
So yeah, we're not far away now from starting the race. Starting P3, wow. We've got the chance. We've got the opportunity.
Went too smooth yesterday, didn't it, Danny?
What did? Yesterday. Testing, yeah. And nobody crashed into us, so.
No, that definitely is. Nobody crashed into me, I can't blame anybody. I think we get a mention in here, Danny.
What's this yearbook, is it?
Yeah. September saw a return to Anglesey where persistent rain throughout the event shuffled the established order. The dark side Audi TT of Ryan Parkin and Dan Sylvester set the seasonal best of third position until late, coming together with Matthew Chidmarsh handed the final place on the overall podium to brother Scott aboard the team's unique.
You bastard, working together with that Ginetta, weren't you? Teaming up.
Good friends.
Yeah.
Like you, so. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, me and Ginetta, man, have met up, haven't we, Scott? Best friends now.
I saw you stroking his hair earlier.
Attention.
We had about a 20-second handshake, so yeah, it was long. Made up for all the damages. I feel better now. He also said he's going to give me $2,000 towards it. No, he didn't say that. Right, it's time. It's time. Well, we've got about half an hour real time, but I'm going to put my cameras away now. And what are you taking a picture of that for?
Sending it to Body Shop and say, Danny's give you some more work for next week.
I just want to polish out. I'll buff that, don't worry about that.
You don't try to buff it out.
It's got to have some battle scars on it, man.
Yeah,
it's a race car. Yeah. No point having a mint race car. That's good as new, that.
You'd never know.
Right, let's get to it then. So remember, we're starting third, P3. And yeah, we're going to go for gold, of course. We're going to go for gold. 45-minute race. I'll see you in there. Joe's taking over. Joe Pro Live. Doing some videoing, aren't you, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. We've lost the rear view camera because we've put a camera in from Alpha Live for the live stream. As Harry is demonstrating now. Cheers, Harry. So, thanks, Joe Pro.
Is it safe to press the button yet?
Safe to press the button now.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just going to go for a piece.
One of your minions has taken the car for you.
Say look.
I know, just followed it. You can make some nice cinematics if you want to treat the patrons.
Cinematics for the patrons, like and subscribe.
How are you feeling?
A bit nervous, to be honest, yeah. It's rolling start, innit? I've not done a rolling start before, so...
Oh, you never started Club Enduro?
No, Ryan always started Enduro.
Nice.
But it's lights out when you go, you can have a text straight away.
Oh, you checked? Good. Did they mention that in the driver's briefing?
Yeah.
Good. Watch out for Josh in your fucking mirrors then.
I'll just confer with someone, but I think so, yeah. I think as soon as the lights go out. Nobody knows. Is it a rolling start? Me? Yeah, it's a rolling start.
Is it a rolling start? Fucking hell. Good job you're on the ball. Do you reckon anyone will tell you the truth in the assembly area? No, you've got to wait.
Start finish line, it's quite early.
Yeah.
Have a quick look actually. Let's see where that start finish line was. See you in a bit.
Shiny. Too shiny for putting water on.
Race time.
Do you know what you've got to do?
What? Rear drive fast. Been a while since we've said that, innit?
Yeah. Mr. Big Time gets his helmet handed to him now.
Only best at that side. sort it out.
Good to go.
Yeah, man.
Race of the season, and heading down towards the first corner.
Bruh.
Right, we're just lining up for Roadsports. We get a green flag lap behind the safety car, and then the safety car pulls in, red lights are on, and once the red lights go out, we're good to go. We can overtake at any time, but it'll most likely be quite far down. We've had to lose the rear view camera because we're having the onboard live footage, so that's a price worth paying, isn't it? So we've got an E36 behind us there, S54, so we have to make sure we're in the right gear, probably be third gear or whatever, and maybe do some brake boosting or something just to make sure that turbo's spooling and we pick up and go. And then Josh is behind that compact. On his left we've got two Leon TCRs, maybe three Leon, oh no, two Leon TCRs and a Golf. But yeah, this is it, this is the big one. Well, this is the warm-up anyway, but this is the one I'm doing all on my own, so no excuses, eh?
But Daniel Sylvester done a good job there in the Audi to get onto the second row of the grid, just alongside Colin Gillespie in his Stayat. Another car we have an onboard camera with is car number 89, which is the diesel Golf of Scott Parkin, who's qualified 14th for this race.
Beach. The second row on the inside is number 6 Dan Sylvester in the Audi TT. Beside him is 151 Colin Gillespie. On row 4 of the grid, it's number 10 on the inside, that's Josh Lawton, and then Nigel Greensall starts the number 40 BMW next. On to row 7, and we get the 187 car of Brad Kaler, the Audi RS3. Next to him is Scott Parkin in the diesel.
Right, so the Roadsports race start, what happened? Well, obviously we qualified well, we're up in P3, the highest qualifying position I've done in this car. I was really looking forward to the race start, and I had it all planned out in my head what I'd be doing with the brake boosting, etc.
To control the pace, red lights on, they go out, and away we go for the first TQR Roadsports race of the season. And heading down towards the first corner, it's Hampson in the lead. Oh, but he takes a lot of curb there, and he spins, takes out Daniel Sylvester. He's going to rejoin the circuit, but it causes other cars to scatter left and right. And heading down towards the first corner, it's Hampson in the lead. Oh, but he takes a lot of curb there, and he spins, takes out Daniel Sylvester. He's going to rejoin the circuit, but it causes other cars to scatter left and right.
So I've stolen quite a lot of other drivers' point of views here for this Turn 1 incident. Now I think it's pretty clear what happened, but there was a bit of discussion in the paddock after the race, a bit of confusion perhaps, but it's pretty clear to me that the orange M3 just simply loses control. Now one thing to take note of with this orange M3, it's actually a car that gets driven by two different drivers, and there's clearly a big gap in the skill level there. The fast driver who set the pole time compared to the driver who started the race Going by their qualifying times, there's around 7 seconds a lap difference, which is just a crazy amount. Had the driver who was driving the car started the race in the position he would have qualified in, then he would have been about 20th. But instead, he started the race in pole position. Now, I don't think that's right clever. You know, a driver with the skill level to do the lap time which put them on pole position wouldn't have made these mistakes. What does the driver do so wrong? Well, first of all, they brake far too early. Perhaps they're conscious of what's going on around them, perhaps too conscious about what's going on around them, but they brake super early, then get off the brakes and brake again, and then they take the corner far too narrow. They completely eat the curb for breakfast. The rear wheel jumps a mile in the air. So if they don't act quick, they're going to lose control of the car. Then they end up making contact with the Leon on the outside, and then I don't know if they overreact to that or just kind of bounce away from the car, which then puts them into a spin which they don't seem interested in correcting, which then leads to taking me out. Not quite a series of unfortunate events, but there's quite a few opportunities there for the driver of the car to correct what's happening and, you know, get out of the situation, but instead it's a series of just mistakes, really, by a driver who perhaps shouldn't have been starting the race in pole position. Now, I don't want to sound too salty about it because, you know, it's only cost me thousands of pounds of damage, right? And what's it's a drop in the ocean compared to some of these cars, isn't it? But it sure is a lot of money to me, and it's really put me off doing any more of this racing anytime soon. So if you're enjoying this video, like and subscribe and join the Patreon by all means, but I think it'll be a while before you see me racing in this Audi TT again. So fortunately I wasn't collected by anyone else here and I was able to stay in the race, albeit down in 9th position. What that meant was we were behind Josh at least, so we can try and have a bit of a battle here.
Hampton's car, that could have got a lot worse though. Daniel Sylvester there in the Audi TT really saved it quite well as he was sliding across the circuit. Great to see newly developed cars out there for this year.
all over the shop at the front.
Josh Lawton was catching. He's done the fastest lap of the race. He's a second quicker than anybody else. So the Honda Civic there, car number 10, is the quickest car in the race. The driver from Hull, local-ish to Croft Circuit here, the ex-Time Attack racer in this 1994 Honda Civic EG with a K24 supercharged engine. There's lots of power in that car. All over the back now of Luke Handley. Then a gap back to Luke Handley, who's still ahead of Josh Lawton, who's all sideways over the curbs, and he saves it, but a big moment there.
It was indeed a big moment.
Curb hopping moments for a few drivers as they go through there. Looks like Daniel Sylvester's Audi TT didn't get too badly damaged in that first lap incident he was involved in.
Was it open how long? I think I've got a puncher, mate. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Have a look at my tyre when I come past pit window now. I'm coming past pits in a sec. Front left. Might be out of summer.
We're on the 8th lap now, about 10 seconds behind the leader and not far away from the pits opening, but my car is really starting to struggle on the front left. Now I had my suspicions that the front left had a puncture, so I'd already radioed to the team to get them to get a tyre ready for when I made my pit stop.
Another car got off. Another car's got off. Yeah. Mate, my front left's dead. Shout when pit window's open, we'll get the pit straight away. How long have we got? Hey, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, I'm pitting. It's gone. I'm pitting now. No, I can't.
Into the pits has come down Sylvester, and there's a tyre on the grass in front of us. So whether those two facts are related, I'm unsure.
Yeah, not quite sure where that's gone.
Now luckily the cameras were looking just at the right time, including Scott in the car behind, who managed to catch the tyre evacuating itself from the rim. Yeah, I've never had this happen before. It's a super strange feeling, but I guess we must have got a puncture from the turn 1 incident. Now unfortunately this pit stop wasn't the smoothest. I think the team were a bit confused whether or not this was my scheduled stop or not. All they needed to do here was to change that tyre and send me back out, but instead there was quite a lot of activity going on with the car when, as I say, the priority should have just been getting that front left in the air, getting the tyre off, getting another wheel on and getting me back out.
Hey, don't worry about that. Come on. Don't worry about that. Come on. Hey.
I'm down at the Darkside team garage with Rob. So first of all, just tell us what happened with the TT. We saw it came in with no front left tyre.
Yeah, Danny had a little bit of contact early on with the BMW. It stayed out as long as it could, but ultimately it resulted in a puncture, so we got that change as quick as we could.
Obviously a shame for his race, especially after qualifying so well.
So not much happened between the two pit stops. I had a little bit of a battle with this E36 Compact, but they were a bit strange into some of the corners. We later found out that apparently their power steering had failed. Also had a bit of a throwback moment with this orange MX-5. If anyone's watched my video for a few years, you'll know that overtaking on the grass seems to be a bit of a theme. It's something that seems to happen a lot, and it's never something that I intend to do, but perhaps I'm just not as scared of the green as what I should be. But yeah, this Mazda, I thought he was going left, and he didn't go as left as what he thought, which meant that I hit the grass. And once you hit the grass, look at the steering lock I'm having to put on to keep the car from being dragged all the way infield. Now I kept my foot down as well, and we exited the grass at about 90 miles an hour, so yeah, it was pretty gnarly, but obviously don't want to make a habit of doing that. Now Max Cam got a good view of Josh's pit stop. Josh had a few issues that I wanted the team to check. He saw a lot of smoke coming from the front left. He was also experiencing a few drivability issues. It turns out one of his CV boots had ripped and chucked all the grease out, and that's what he could see, occasionally smoking. But his pit stop was a little bit slow due to this. But that actually worked out in our favour. Not that I was going to catch him up because I was still a lap behind, but his pit stop being just that bit longer than what it should have been meant that when I left the pits for the second time, he was right there. Josh was actually nursing a problem in the race. It was the car's first time out since doing all his wacky mods, so he's struggling a bit here with the car. That's kind of why he's just sat behind Scott, but he did start to push a bit more once I come out the pits, I think. We had a little bit of a play, but he was clearly struggling with the car, so he ended up letting me past. But I was still a lap down here anyway, so he had nothing to worry about. The next battle that we have is with Brad in the RS3, the dark side RS3. So obviously we've driven this car a few times this year as well, and it's a really great car, the RS3.
Dan Sylvester, the fastest driver on the circuit. He's unlapping himself at the moment. Though in that supercharged Honda Civic X-Time attack machine, lots of aero on that machine. See the splitter, diffuser, big rear wing as well. And Josh Lawton then, the 26-year-old from Hull, makes his way through as we watch Dan Sylvester then, who's up to, well actually he's still in 16th place now, but he's soon going to gain more positions I would think. As he turns his way there through the S's. He managed to unlap himself against Brad Kaler, I think, recently. He was a driver in 5th place, and that is his partial position, I think. He goes up the inside of Robert Andrade.
So our last little battle in the road sports race was with this Greeny 46 M3, the same one that I was eyeing up at the start of the video. It's a really nice looking car this. Again, this is not for position, so it doesn't really matter, but it's good to have a little battle all the same.
Here's Collins, who's got Sylvester trying to unlap himself, then just behind is Brad Kaler. Obviously Collins has got this penalty, but for on the road position, 4th and 5th, he's pretty close to the end. The leaders, I think they're going to squeeze 2 more laps in potentially, aren't they?
Possibly so, yeah.
At the end of the day, I guess this doesn't really matter if Kaler gets through, but it's good to see them side by side heading up towards Tower Corner nevertheless. Is Kaler going to find a way past Ian?
I think he probably is. As Nigel Green's always saying, the priority for James is to get the signature release licence having finished the race.
The leader, this is Cole Swift. Get one more lap, I think, as they go up across the line. Yeah, one lap to go.
No checkered flag goes out. Checkered flag does wave, in fact. It is right to touch and go.
So the checkered flag's out now, and that marks the end of a very wild road sports. This was the first time I've competed in a road sports event. We've done similar races before. This type of race has been copy and pasted a bit around the UK motorsport clubs. We did a few last year in the BRSCC, very similar. It's obviously not the race I wanted to have, but hopefully it provided the content. I'm pretty sure it did. But the car was a bit of a sorry state once it came back to the pits.
Daniel Sylvester coming back to 12th at the end with the fastest lap as well.
I've got to do it. Not straight to the Yeah, straight up. Yeah. Be easy, right? Yeah, it should be alright.
Very good race despite everything. Fast.
Under the back of it.
Fast.
Would have been bad for out that puncher. If it didn't have that puncher, because it was slowly going and slowly I could feel it getting worse and worse. And then it just fucking went and took wing out of it. I was waiting for pit window to open. I didn't want to pit, you know.
Yeah, you finished 1 minute 40 behind the leader.
That's right.
And your pit there was 1 minute 40.
Stats.
Do you need me to hold you back and stop you going and calling anyone a knobhead, or?
I mean, they are knobheads, aren't they? Oh, to be fair. Got an E46 M3 and can't even fucking drive it. To be fair, you're saying it's a nice E46. I'm saying it's nice. Fastest lap though, apparently.
Fastest lap, yeah, by a decent margin.
Alignment's way off as well. Like
28.0.
28.0.
Fast, mate.
That's what that. Hopefully, all there's no words for it. It's just. I didn't see it happen, but I saw the aftermath. You're just all crossed up and everything, weren't you?
It's this car, mate. It's cursed.
It must be.
Not cursed. It's not.
Look at that.
Right then.
So obviously the car got quite a lot of damage at turn 1. Yeah, we still finished 12th when we got the fastest lap of the race. So that's good, you know, car's got pace, feeling good about that. Especially it was post-crash as well, obviously, that we did the fastest lap, but yeah, I mean, things could be better, but things could be a bit worse. I've had a burger to celebrate. You know, I might even have a beer. Yeah, I think there's some beers in the fridge. Should we get one?
You took fastest lap off me.
Oh, did you have it?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to drive faster. You never had me. Stop tickling it, pal. Come on.
Oh, that was my kneecap, that. Cheers. Stood too close, hasn't it?
What's the fastest car out there? If nothing else.
Fastest car or fastest driver?
Well, a bit of both, wasn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. Bit of fastest. Well, it's car and it's a team effort, mate. Might go and try and find tyre when track closes. Yeah. It's on infield apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
We weren't expecting you to pull in with
Where is tyre? Let's have a look then. You happy?
Yeah, can't. Not we, can we?
Well, what about this?
Well, you're paying for that, aren't you?
He's got. That the wheel will go with that. There,
Yeah, man.
that's the only damage.
Yeah.
You pulled in and wheel weren't even touching the floor.
Yeah, it wasn't even touching the floor, it was just that.
No way, that's mega that. Oof, rip, AL52.
There we go.
Mint. I'll go try and find a tyre, you know, when track closes.
I think the room would probably go
I
again.
reckon it'd go again if you took that bit off there, cleaned it up, I think it'd be alright.
Yeah.
It looks like it's taken like a big hit.
I think it's because it's like brushed it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's ripped sidewall out.
I must have put a nick in sidewall or
Nicking it, and then
something.
you've driven. You did, well, how many laps you do? Like 5?
About 10 minutes on it, yeah. So
Yeah.
About 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah, so then it's.
So it hasn't been a big hole it's been in it, has it? Because 10 minutes.
It held for a while, yeah. Motherfuckers. Josh has got a DC2 top on. I did him with back pattern for about 10 minutes before I realised it cost me. Like, and I only made like 50p on each t-shirt.
Oh man.
So I took them off. Limited edition. Staying out of the way, are you? Alright, it's after the racing's all done and all that. We've come to try and find my tyre. And I think we found it straight away.
Is yours missing?
Inside, yeah. That's it. Yeah, sure fucking good as well.
Tread as well. Fucking
What a waste. Any point in taking it back? Just leave it?
Yeah, take it back.
Memento.
Yeah. Put it on the wall.
It's definitely that one, isn't it? It's got to be.
It's 100% that one, 265. If it isn't, how many of us fucking 265?
Tell you what, there's some weight to that, isn't there? I must have got a puncher on it inside then. Oh no, it must have been outside. That's outside, isn't it?
Yeah, that's outside. Wow.
Oh, look at that. No, that's not gone through, has it?
No. Well, it might have done. It's not gone out yet.
Have a look on inside. No? Must have just nicked me.
We'll put it back on a rim and we'll pump it up and see where it's leaking from.
I could feel, I could tell it would go in, It started vibrating a bit as well, so it must have been like running low for ages.
Yeah. Well, it has, that.
Need run flats.
Yeah, this is it, run flats for racing. Ryan said, could you have just waited to end at pit lane until it fucking said pit lane open and then just gone down? But I suppose you don't think about stuff like that.
I don't know. There were another like 2 minutes to go, I think, when it went. We found it. It's all smashed to fuck. Running tomorrow though, I think. Cheers for AO52. It's a nice car.
It is. Have a good look round it.
Do you not remember last year when it broke studs? Remember? His front wheel stud snapped in braking zone at turn 1 here.
Yeah. I think you were winning or you were doing quite well.
Yeah. It always does quite well, that car.
If it were a car you didn't like, you'd
This
hate
one
him
started
more.
going slow as well, didn't it?
Yeah, this
It
is
said
that one.
power steering went at something Giles said.
Oh mate, you got it. There we go. I'll go again.
Yeah, man.
Get some.
Holy.
Yeah. Or Tiger Flex, that'll do.
There's a lot of tread left on that.
Put it that
It's
way.
definitely the one. It's got to be the one, hasn't it?
It's the only tyre that's come off today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Picture of that, put it on eBay. Done.
No dramas. 300 quid though.
Good.
Oh, you know you're having a bad day when the spare car needs to be rolled out, eh?
but we need that front wing for this one. I did say I'd sent diesel one, but Scott don't want me binning 2 cars, you know, understandably. Wing's naughty on that though, isn't it? Maybe we could take the carbon doors off of it, maybe. Because we are, technically, even though we did fastest lap, we are still overweight a little bit.
Yeah, we knew we were going to bin it.
Right, that's all from Saturday then. So we finished 12th in the end in the race, and the lads have put the car back together for tomorrow. Remember, we're sharing with Dylan tomorrow in Enduro, but we know the car has got pace. Yeah, if nothing else, we've got a fast car. So can we convert that? You know, we've still got tomorrow. It's a much longer race. It's a much longer race tomorrow, so we'll have to see how we get on, won't we? But we're going to pause the video for now. I'm going to go get some food, and then I'll see you tomorrow for the Club Enduro. Thanks to the team for fixing the car so fast. Look at that, it's still daylight. They've still got to string it up, but yeah, I think the front left alignment might be a little bit off. And yeah, there's my tyre, look. Tyre and wing, more trophies. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Right, Sunday morning, Club Enduro, it's the big one. Lads are just stringing the car up now. Today is the big one, it's the big race today. 2 hours. Fans are here, look. I've slept well, yeah. The trophies from yesterday, look. Skirt, wing, tyre. The rim is actually good to go. I don't know if we showed it much yesterday, but the wheel, the rim is actually fine. Can you believe it? We'll put it on balancer, I guess, and make sure it's not buckled, but yeah, good to go. Good to go. Everyone in the area having a good time. Look, it's going to be a good day. Look at the sunshine. It's going to be good weather all day today, so says the weatherman. Fingers crossed. But the car's been scrutineered already, so yeah, having a good time. Morning. How are we doing? Got rate tools out this morning straight away, yeah?
Yeah, a bit of rate. Getting ready for the day.
Look who's here for his first wheel to wheel.
And I watched a couple of
the man from the internet.
full laps. Oh yeah, actually. It's a present for you.
Oh, for me?
Smell, yeah.
Oh, cheers, thank you. Dark side data sesh. Don't be shy, Scott.
Just looking at how slow you are in all corners.
My ideal yesterday, optimal, was a 27.8, was it?
27.7.
27.7. Oh, it's not going to focus.
Scott in here.
What do you want?
We're just doing data, so can you not...
Well, you can't come in here, Lou. We're doing a data session. Get your eyes off of this, man. Right, we're starting qualifying. We're a little bit late, a little bit tardy. Yesterday we had a good run on everyone in qualifying and got out nice and early, but I think we gave everyone too much warning, and then everyone's gone down a little bit earlier than us. So I kind of want Dylan to start and then me do the end when the car's lightest, but then I'll lose the fresh tyres at the same time. So do I just go up and queue behind everyone, or what do we do? I don't know. Well, Dylan's going first, so we'll have a quick walk down to the assembly area, have a look at the vehicles. Josh's car parked up. He's not racing today. Just how far back are we? Remember, we were first out qualifying yesterday, but today, not so lucky. It's a similar race as Roadsports yesterday, 2 drivers most of the time and a little bit of endurance, but it's going on for quite a bit longer. But we will see the same cars, but not all of the same cars. Look at Dylan, he's miles back now. So I bet there were cars queuing up a long time before half past. We went half an hour early yesterday and we got to the front, so I guess everyone went just a little bit earlier today. But let's go and have a look.
We want to get the time and speed up.
What time did you start queuing up?
About 9:30.
Fucking hell. TT's not even in paddock, man. It's just come in now.
You have to leave it on the slip road.
Feeling good? Yeah? Gonna smash it? Have you reset the thing, or are you gonna leave it? You've reset it?
Reset it, yeah.
Right. At least you're not completely at the back, you know? Right, I'm gonna go back up to the pit lane, man, so...
Alright, lad. Thank
take
you.
it easy, yeah? Away they go then. Enduro qualifying.
Look at that orange duct tape on front of that BM, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Crazy. That's interesting. Interesting clutch deployment. Right, we need to return to the pit garages now. We'll be going out in about 15 minutes. We'll probably get about 4 or 5 laps in the car. Hopefully go out in a gap. Hopefully do a good time. Right, I'm going to get my helmet on and I'll see you in the car. Dylan's going to pit soon. So, see you out there. 27 please. So we're currently 8th, we're 29.5. So the plan is for Dylan to go for about 20 minutes here and then we'll pit, do a driver change, and then I'll have 3 or 4 laps in the car with low fuel and hopefully can do a super fast time. Hopefully we can get the car into the 27s. There's a bit of a spanner thrown in the works because a car goes off which causes a safety car. A safety car in qualifying. Yes, that does happen sometimes and it happened today.
And I've got yellow flags because the safety car is out, and that I presume is because of the dark 235 BMW 2 Series that is stationary at Hawthorne.
Right, in a race, no manners like that, yeah? Come on.
Driver change down there in the pit lane. Is that the Audi, possibly?
Copy. Not changing gear, Luke. Yeah, working now. We got stuck in first gear.
We are on board with the Audi at the moment that is just navigating its way around the hairpin and back onto the start and finish straight. Here it comes up towards the line now. That's the car.
We saw yesterday, like you said there, just as the cars turn into the corner, there's a big compression, isn't there? And you hit the curb as well. I think these bigger cars, it doesn't make quite much of a difference, does it? But when we see the lighter cars out over the weekend, that's quite dramatic. And there, you can can see the difference between Class B and Class A power as they go down towards Tower Bend and the Audi TT gets through. But then there's more traffic out of Tower Bend and ahead. So that's to be dealt with through the Jim Clark S's, and we flat out pretty much by the sounds of it, then through Barcroft. Yeah, there's a big lift with traffic. We've got a new pole sitter though, because Nigel Greensall's jumped in the BMW and gone 8/10 of a second faster than anybody else. So 1:27.15.
So my qualifying was unfortunately quite a lot like Roadsports. This was obviously before I'd looked back at my footage. Someone commented recently, does editing these videos and looking at the footage help you? And it definitely does. The problem is I'm seeing things that happened a month ago and then obviously trying to figure out how I could have gone better. So if I'd have been a bit more patient when I wasn't on a lap, let the car kind of cool down a little bit, I think I'd have had a better time. And then when I did go to push again, I think I'd be alright. But yeah, it's still a skill. I must have done 40, 50 qualifying sessions in my career now, let's say, and still learning things all the time. But yeah, it was a similar story, just as Roadsports yesterday. I would be on a lap and then unfortunately find myself being held up.
The Audi TT's gone 5th on a 28.06.
So I'd already done a 28.06 and I knew that was good enough for 5th overall because I've got Luke telling me on the radio. But speaking of Luke's, he has won at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was catching this Golf towards the end of this run, and remember the Delta's not working, so I had no clue whether or not I was up or not, but still this Golf seriously impeded me. And the fact that it was Luke Handley, a friend of the channel, you might say, oh, I was fuming. What are you doing? Fucking hell, Luke! Fucking Luke fucked me up on last corner, proper bad. So Luke, who made us quite delayed at the end there, the Delta wasn't working on here, so I don't know if I was any good or not, but that is indeed the man who was spying on us earlier as well, so take from that what you will. I'm sure he didn't intentionally hold me up, and I'm pretty sure I probably wasn't on a flyer anyway because of that yellow flag and the coolant that was down, but it's definitely held me up regardless. So we got P5 anyway, which with the bit of extra competition that's going on today, with it being Enduro, then I guess we'll take that.
Just having a bit of strategy for this race. We've just had our briefing. They've introduced a new rule this year where you can't pit when there's a safety car out. So that's throwing a bit of a spanner in the works, and
you know, there's perhaps an advantage to be gained if you pit just before the safety car comes out, and they've tried to quell that by telling us that they're not going to let us out the pit lane if we try and do that. So it's all a bit, you know what I mean? It's all a bit, Anyway, we've been talking tyres because we've got a fresh set to go on. These are brand new AO52s, but the ones from qualifying aren't too bad. But what we're going to do is just put a new front left on. That's the front right that came off of qualifying. Still looks pretty good. So we're just going to go with the front left, and then I'll have a new front left as well, and that means that we can both lean on the tyre a little bit more because we're not worrying about it doing a full 2-hour sprint. And yeah, we can just hopefully have a good time. The tyre that they put on for me yesterday, mid-race, like with about half an hour left, was pretty much not dead, but it was well worn more than any of these, and you know, it did the rest of the race about half an hour without issue, right? So yeah, we're just discussing and deciding, but we're not far away now. Dylan is starting the race. We're going to say a pit window between 45 minutes and an hour and 15. He's starting with 80 litres of fuel, so he'll have about 75-80 minutes of run time for safety cars and stuff. Obviously that'll be extended, but we're also starting 4th now as well. We qualified 5th, but we're starting 4th because one of the cars at the top, that very nice green BMW that we were looking at, unfortunately underweight, so got disqualified. They're going to have to start from the back. So I think they've got some ballast in it now, and yeah, but they'll be starting from the back, which means that we move up. So there's going to be a Ginetta in front of us, a Golf in front of us, and one of these Leons. Right, it's nearly race time. Dylan's starting the race. Good luck, Dylan. Yes, I'm going to hand you over to Hoshcam today. Joe Pro yesterday. Today's Hoshcam. Yeah, Josh is going to go and do some spectating. I'm going to be in the pits, obviously, in the midst of it. I'll do some videoing on my phone if anything interesting happens. Hopefully we have a good, clean race starting P4. Hopefully we can convert that into a top 3 finish and come on with a trophy. That'll be lovely.
Don't forget to put the fastest BMW qualifying.
Yes, lads. And back to start from the pit lane. New pit lane regulations for this year. Like last year, the pit lane opens after 30 minutes, but if the safety car is out, the pit lane will be closed. So that's a new regulation for this year. Massively competitive qualifying session. And now we look forward to hopefully just as competitive race over the course of the next 2 hours. On board with the Audi driver now, the dark side developments, Audi TT. The leader's off, the leader is off the road, so that is Mark Bryce in the Sayre. It's gone straight on down there at Sunny, so into the lead. Familiar sight from last year is Cole Swift. The Sayre only now rejoining the circuit.
Yeah, so probably something like about 7th or 8th position. I wasn't quite sure whether it was going to get back on the road at all or whether it was going to get into the barriers possibly, but fortunately for Mark Bryce, he avoided that. So end of lap 1 is going to be 2 VAG group cars, 1st and 2nd, and it's going to be Dylan Brickton that's going to have the lead, I think, as they go over the line at the end of the 1st lap. Yes, he does, so the Audi gets ahead. 1st and 2nd,
Dylan's going for lead here. He's done him! Dylan's in lead! Hey.
Number 14, and 4th place is, that's Joel Oswick, I think, yes it is, number 2, last year's Class C champion, having his first race in the Class A Cup.
So we definitely had what could be described as a fairly tail start to Club Enduro. Dylan in the lead after 2 laps. Now it seemed for the first half an hour of the race there was nothing that could stop us, but that was until the Lotus of Stacey started catching up. Now we knew Stacey was the car to beat, everyone knew that the Lotus was the car to beat, but the fact is that the Lotus normally beats itself. It normally retires with a mechanical failure before it can finish. It always has pace, but we saw last year at Anglesey, if you remember as well, it just could never quite finish, and we saw the car with my own 2 eyes. I saw the car getting a head gasket replacement between qualifying and race 1, so temperamental to say the least, but when it works, it's fast. It's pretty much unstoppable.
Then come what may, change for the lead in fact as they come down there. Will Stacey round the outside into the complex has got ahead of Dylan Brichter there. So Will Stacey, last year's winner, he was 7th in the early stages of this race, up into the lead of it. That's an excellent effort from him.
Remember, he started 11th as well, Will Stacey. Now he's ahead. Will he be able to pull clear? Because we have seen him go over a second faster than anybody else in this race. Out of the 4th, Adam Bessel trying to get ahead of Cole Swift. That's not coming to anything as it stands on the circuit. And the safety car's coming out.
Yeah, so safety car out.
So not long after Dylan lost the lead to the Lotus, there was a safety car called. But it was quite unlucky for us because there was a slow Class C car in between the leader and ourselves. But there was also the position 3 car, the BMW M4, was right there behind the TT. So what this means is when the safety car restart occurs, the Lotus will be able to set the pace and take off, but then the FN2 will only be able to go as fast as what an FN2 can go, and Dylan is not able to overtake the FN2 until the start finish line. So the Lotus gets really lucky here and gets to stretch its legs, but we're under immediate pressure from the M4.
And that is proving quite crucial because it didn't want to get away particularly quickly, and it's side by side for second place then as they go over the start line at the restart. And is it going to be Joel Oswick that gets through into second place down at Clervaux Corner? Not quite. It is still the Audi TT ahead of Dylan Brichter, but that was a close run thing, and that's really given a big advantage to Will Stacey there.
Battle for second place. Joel Oswick's seen a lot at the back of the Audi TT over the last few laps. Ian, he can't find a way through as of yet.
Can't. To the line they come. Over it they now go. And the gap between those 2 cars is about 6/10 of a second. As things stand, Oswick has got a 5-second penalty now for exceeding track limits. So Joel Oswick picking up a 5-second penalty.
So we're still under a lot of pressure for the M4. Dylan's doing a great job, but it's getting towards the time of pit stops. Now we said to Dylan what we'd do is basically just whatever the Lotus does, we'll copy it. That should give us the best chance, the best roll of the dice, right? The best odds if we just copy them, because then we're on the same strategy, right? Now when the Lotus did pit, it actually made a big mistake and overshot his pit marker.
And James, is a bit of a problem for the leader here, Ian?
Yeah, it was being pushed back up the pit lane now. Did he overshoot?
So we were obviously really happy to see this, and we called Dylan into the pits. I don't know if it's joy or karma or what, but we ended up making a much bigger mistake of our own.
Into the pits now comes Bacchetta, because of course if you get into the pits before the safety car comes out, you will be able to do your 3-minute pit stop where nobody else will, and that is also why Mark Grice is pitted, but the race champions from last year have not come in, so staying out is Cole Swift, so they will be praying the safety car doesn't come out in the next 90 seconds.
Yeah, we need to perhaps see what's going on with Adam Bessel, but in as...
You're timing, yeah? That's fucked.
I can see it.
10, 11, 12. Well done, man.
Turn it off, turn it off.
Oh, fucking hell.
What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Fuck's sake.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Didn't turn the car off. Radio! 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 Yeah.
Comes out, but he's behind. He is behind the two other stoppers, so there out of the pit lane goes Dan Sylvester, but he has dropped behind Will Beach, who's taken over from Mark Grice, so I think it is a total turnaround.
So at the start of my session, we dropped down to position 13, but we were effectively in second place of those who had pitted. Now we did drop a place in the pits, and we almost made contact with the capture car due to our own tardiness. So we made a couple of mistakes in that pit stop with the radio, with the engine, and also pushing back a little bit late. Also the guys didn't get out of the way kind of in time. I could have still got out when I tried to signal that, but
Yes, we do indeed have the safety car out for the second time in this race. That is because the Luke Browse car is off at Tower Corner and needs to be recovered, and that's come just pretty much exactly halfway through this 2-hour race.
So we're on to the safety car restart now, and the Leon in front of us is effectively leading the race, and we're in second place. The Lotus is quite far behind after their long pit stop. They're quite far behind, so all we need to do now is concentrate on getting in front of this Leon as quickly as we can.
Two leaders who have pitted, and that was Dan Sylvester. On board now, goes down the inside of Will Beach, so it's not for the lead of the race at the moment, but it could be later on. He hops over the curbs and he goes through, so Dan Sylvester takes that position up ahead of Will Beach, which for now is for 10th position, but it could become more important later.
So the safety car restart went very well, managed to get in front of the Leon. So we are effectively in the lead now, and the Lotus is quite far behind. First lap after the safety car, although it was compromised and a couple of overtakes, ended up being a 27. So we finally dipped into the 27s. That was a 27.7. It just goes to show what the car can do when it's a little bit cooler. Obviously we've been behind the safety car for a couple of laps, and then, you know, just unleashed it for one lap, and yeah, 27.7. So I didn't realise at the time, but obviously on reflection I'm pretty stoked to be in the 27s.
Started the race again here into the complex with 4 of the top class A cars all together. At the back of it is the quickest of this group of cars, Dan Sylvester, who's absolutely flying this weekend in this Audi TT that Darkside Developments have got going. Just behind him there's a battle developing between Will Beach and Will Stacey. This is a battle for position, and really this is the battle for second of the pit stoppers, and they're absolutely wheel to wheel as they go across the line. We know the Seat's got a bit more straight line speed, but can Will Stacey hang this out round the outside? He brakes really late in the Lotus Elite and he goes through. So for now this is for 5th position, but it will be for a more significant place as the race goes on.
Now after a couple of laps I began to catch this M4. It's the same one that Dylan was battling with at the start of the race, but this car's had a couple of problems and had to pit twice, so he's quite a few laps off, but making half decent pace now. I didn't realise that I wasn't actually racing this M4, and I don't know if they realised that we weren't actually racing them. Of course we're both on track at the same time, going as fast as what we can, but I think if we'd have both known what was going on, that they were actually a couple of laps behind, surely the driver knew they were a few laps behind. But the Lotus was catching up, getting closer and closer every lap, and the more battling I did, the more time I lost.
Enough that he can keep this gap to Will Stacey, but not slow enough that he can get past it. So as I say, it's a bit like the beginning of the race all over again. There is the race leader, basically Cole Swift, but there number 6 is our leader in reality, Danny Sylvester, but there is the car chasing Will Stacey, who set another fastest lap of the race at 1:27.20. We're on board with Sylvester now. He's quicker through the S's than Joel Oswick, whose BMW M4 is back up to speed. Through Barcroft, a big chunk of brake there for Oswick, before then braking much harder down into Sunny. But if you look in the mirror, you can see the Lotus Elise there. If you look to the top of your pictures in the rearview mirror, you'll just make out the shape of a Lotus Elise, which is Will Stacey catching this Audi TT, and then you're going to have a really cracking battle, I think, between these two cars here.
Well, we sort of saw these four cars together more or less, didn't we, in the early part of the race.
So the Lotus is right with us now, and we're still in this train. We get a bit of bad luck up ahead. The green M3, which caused a safety car earlier, seems to be having some further problems and causes a bit of a traffic jam at one of the fastest parts of the circuit.
But he'll be back out shortly.
It's getting busy. Here comes Stacey up the inside of Sylvester. This is for basically, we think, the lead of the race. And through Barcroft, are we going to see a Lotus ahead? Just about. So through goes Will Stacey in traffic there into Barcroft. A bold move, but now he's going to have that BMW M4 ahead, so probably he won't be able to pull away in.
Not too sure why the M4 braked so hard, but what that did was create the opportunity for the Lotus to slip through, and this Lotus is not scared of taking opportunities.
Frustrated, won't he, that he hasn't been able to get past Oswick, whereas Stacey did it immediately, and the Browd car back out the pit lane is back off the road.
So I finally got an opportunity to get round the M4 here. We're both stuck wanting to overtake this Audi TCR car. So the M4 gets a poor exit at the last corner and I get a half decent run out, but the pace of that M4 was, yeah, I definitely wasn't ahead on the corner entry, but just kept myself into the inside. Like I say, I didn't know this wasn't actually for position. Turns out it wasn't for position all the time, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that I got ahead so I could try and keep up with that Lotus.
So Will Stacey a couple of times has had to work his way through the order, but in reality he is the new race leader. Danny Sylvester in second, and Will Beat in third, and the Area Motorsport Golf, the pit stop still continuing. So as Dan Sylvester tries to chase back after Will Stacey, let's head down into the pit lane.
next car we had to battle was this E46 M3, which you might remember from Roadsports. Now this was with the second driver now, Nigel Greensall, who's quite an accredited driver. I was speaking to him in the pits, nice chap. And he was clearly having a lot of fun in this E46. We battled for a couple of laps until he went just a bit too hard into Sunny Inn and got his rear left wheel on the grass. Really cool to see the commitment though. It was yeah, it was good fun this.
Nigel Greensall's had an off at Sunny. That doesn't happen terribly often. He had just been lapped by Will Stacey.
So I'm still sat in second place here, sat waiting for this Lotus to break down when the Audi decides that, hang on, I quite fancy being a Lotus.
Right, shaft's gone. I'm out. Look that pit lane, mate.
Sylvester into the pits.
So yeah, that's slightly less than ideal. We had a mechanical failure which ended up causing a early retirement.
Drive shaft! Drive shaft! What's up? Drive shaft! Drive shaft.
Why Sylvester in the pits? That's the drama to follow. The car that should really be in second place, but it won't be anymore.
Luke Handley's back out into the race, but I think Dan Sylvester's still down there in the pit lane, so not sure if we can pick up on that car that's down there, and see if we can figure out why it is down there as well. It is parked in at 45 degrees, and so it's not getting any kind of penalty, I don't think, or anything like that. It's parked in its regular position in the pit lane. There is the 6 car. Dylan Briggs and Dan Sylvester. Dan Sylvester was at the wheel of the car. They reckon it's a drive shaft issue, so that brings their chances very much to an end.
Oh, Danny Sylvester, the car in the pit lane, not on the track where you want it to be. What's happened?
I just come around the last corner there. I think I was in P2 and just bang from the gearbox or drive shaft or something like that. So yeah, something's let go, and it's a shame because the car's been really strong all weekend in testing in Roadsports yesterday as well. And yeah, I think we were on for a good result, but unfortunately had a mechanical failure by the looks. So
now, of course, a YouTube sensation. So is this going to make the channel?
It's good for content, this, isn't it? Yeah, at the end of the day, I'd prefer to be having the car's first trophy though, but yeah, it'll be good for the channel maybe. So,
well, not the way I wanted to end. How many more times am I going to say that about this car? It's cursed. Whenever it competes, something goes wrong. It's just not good, is it? I don't know. Maybe I need to put a pin in it for now, because we did get a penalty as well for having the engine running whilst refuelling. So, despite my best efforts putting into P2, I don't think I was going to catch the Lotus, but we were just about faster than everything else. I got into the 27s as well, did a 27.7, which, you know, finally got that 27-second lap. Was feeling pretty good about the car. The car definitely got a bit too hot. I was lucky once I got in front of the M4, I could let the car cool down just a little bit, and yeah, it was getting a bit too hot. Once I got in front of the the E46 as well, we were having a little battle. So, I mean, I guess I've got some good content, but I would much rather be out there still challenging for the lead. That would be preferential, I reckon. But never mind. What's Brock, Paul?
The good old drive shaft cup.
Getting on power and
Well, it's just snapped right away.
Is it common, like? No.
I've never seen one.
Motherfucker. Oh well.
Well, another day in paradise.
Well, the race is just about to end. Looks like Stacey's Lotus is going to win. Scott's still in first place in Class B. Stop! I'm not having that car again for a bit, I don't think.
Cursed.
Yeah, it's cursed.
Do you think if it's a curve and it's done it, or do you think it's just twisted
It's just
it?
gone, mate.
I suppose until we get it out, if we see.
I got a 2-lap penalty anyway because they didn't turn car off and they refueled it. I went P2 though.
Well, I think we had about a 12-second lead, then there were safety car bunches back
Oh,
up.
fucking hell. His tyre's flat.
Is that it?
Could be, yeah, could be.
I think it's that. Massive chunk in it.
Well, cars are all getting loaded up. So, we need to have an exit. I'll do it from my car. We'll go and get settled in my car before setting off home, but what an hard weekend for the car, eh? I've got some thoughts about how I'd like to see it change. I'll run them by you in a second, but yeah, what a pain, eh? Congrats to Scott, of course. Finished with a puncher as well, as you saw at the end. Right, so that is the end of a very difficult weekend. Difficult, that's the wrong word. There's been a lot of challenges though, aren't there? So testing went okay. Obviously we prioritised Dylan's first time racing here. He's not raced a TT before either, so tried to give him as much practice as what he could in the morning before it rained. He was on pace pretty much straight away, so that was good. The race yesterday, obviously did it on my own. We qualified well, qualified third. Got took out in the first corner of the first race. Got a puncher, had to pit twice. And yeah, had to pit twice. We still finished 12th and we got the fastest lap of the race. We got the lap record for that series, which was pretty good. Today we qualified reasonably well, 5th. There's a disqualification ahead of us which put us in 4th. Dylan did an amazing first stint, can't ask for much more. He got up into the lead and stayed in the lead for the first, what, half hour of the race was it, until Stacey caught him up in the Lotus. That Lotus is something else, isn't it? And he had a lot of bad luck last year as well, but they've managed to get it together today. He was really the car to beat. That M4 as well. When I got out in my stint, I thought, struggling here to keep up with that trio. We had that Golf, the M4 and the green E46 M3. We were behind them all and got in front of each one. So, I mean, one of them pitted, but yeah, we managed to get up there and then, unfortunately, had the failure. Now, apparently it's the cup that comes out of the gearbox is cracked, and apparently no one's ever seen it before. So, look forward to hearing the Dark Side teardown to see exactly what happened. Yeah, could have been a lot better, could have been a lot worse. Thanks to all my sponsors, thanks to the Patreons sponsoring these videos. I'm hoping I can convince them to make some changes for the car. What changes do I want? Well, it's not my car, is it? But I think if they converted it to manual, yeah, I think converting it to manual, but also adding all the lightness that they've done to the diesel TT, with the manual conversion and the lighter panels, they can probably get 100 kilos off of that car, which sounds pretty good, doesn't it? 100 kilos off of that car. Now, what would that do? We'd obviously have to knock the power down a good chunk as well to compensate for that. The car would benefit a lot from being a bit lighter, I think. The TCRs have all got to be a minimum of 1200 kilos. That car at the minute's about 1190. If you got it under 1100, you drop the power a little bit, I think it'd be a better race car. But I guess it's up to them, innit? But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully it's been a good thing to watch. Lots of action, as per usual. Thanks to Alpha Live for the live stream content, 750 Motor Club. It's been a good show. We're not racing again
at Croft this year. There's no MR2, there's no hot hatch coming here, so that's us done with Croft. Not been the best weekend.